This morning I woke up to an email from Paradise, and they've finally given a somewhat proper statement to the claims made against them that this game is indeed a scam. If you're not aware of the Paradise situation, I suggest going back to my previous videos on the topic. There's a playlist in the top right. So a couple of days ago, since I posted my last video on the topic, Paradise took to Twitter to state that they would be hosting an Ask Me Anything session, which will give the community the option to ask any questions they want about the game. Of course, I asked them straight to the point why they were claiming to work with influencers such as Pokimane, Ali, Ninja, etc. Now, over the past week, the team behind Paradise have been threatening to sue me, and all sorts of legal action would be taken against me. Clearly, they've realised that I'm not going to just delete my videos from empty threats. So today they emailed me with an email titled Proposal for Cooperation with Paradise. I'm beyond confused, and I wish I had an explanation for why they titled the email this, but we'll continue. And in this email, they detailed that they've posted a page on their website answering everyone's questions. So let's have a look. Community Q&A. This page contains the official answers of the company to the most discussed questions regarding our game. Question number 1. How can you guarantee fulfilling your commitments to players regarding the game's release? We'd like to remind you that our game will be available in a free-to-play format. You'll have full access completely free of charge, which is not something that they were saying even a week and a half ago. A week and a half ago, this was a paid game. More to the point, this was a paid game on Xbox, PlayStation, PC, and all of that. And within the past week, it's now a free PC release, but we'll continue. This game cannot be considered to be fake or non-existent, as it follows a free-to-play model and is offered to users free of charge. We do not require any upfront payment or fees from players, which eliminates the possibility of deception and dishonest practices. This sentence in itself is absolutely insane, because just because they're saying a game is going to be free to play doesn't mean it exists. More to the point, every single bit of gameplay they've showed us is stock assets, stolen assets, and things that just don't make sense. The claims about this game being fake or non-existent were nothing to do with the price of the game. Free or not, I still don't believe the game exists. Unlike other games that offered paid access to an unfinished product, our project has been designed from the start to be entirely free to use. This means that everyone can evaluate the game without any financial investment or risk. Just want to point out one line there, our project has been designed from the start to be entirely free to use, while a week ago it wasn't a free to use game. So that's very confusing if they've changed it in the past week. Then they haven't been designing it from the start to be a free to use game. And also there is financial investment and risk, but we'll talk about the crypto a bit later. Where is your company's registered legal address? So for those that don't know, one of Jetro's subscribers actually went to the head office of Ultra Games, the parent company of Paradise, and their business wasn't there. So Paradise have stated, our structure includes several legal entities, Ultra Games Limited, Ultra Technologies, each fulfilling specific functions depending on the region where services will be provided. This approach allows us to comply with the legal requirements of various jurisdictions and maintain stable international operations. The primary legal address for activities in Hong Kong is registered under Ultra Games Limited at 64 Connaught Road, Central District, Hong Kong. This entity is used for registration and to fulfill all legal requirements under Hong Kong law, which provides recognised conditions for international software development and distribution. Confirmation of Ultra Games Limited's registration can be found on Hong Kong's government website. The problem is anyone can register a business and then go and perform a scam. Registering a business doesn't mean that your product is automatically officially legitimate. I'm pretty sure that there's illegal substance dealers that have registered businesses. Like, this doesn't prove anything. They then go on to state that the company isn't physically based there, it's just a legal address of the business, which is absolutely fine, but originally on their website it did state that that's where their studio was based. Moving on, it says it's important to note that the legal addresses such as those of Ultra Games Limited and Ultra Technologies do not coincide with the actual locations of our team. Most team members work remotely from various countries, a standard for international projects. This allows us to attract top talent without being limited to one location and fulfill all legal obligations in each region, which is funny because they're not fulfilling legal obligations in most of the regions that they're providing this game in, but we'll talk about that a bit later. What is the status of your registered trademark? Now, a week ago when they sent me my legal notice, they stated in that email that they have and own the full legal trademark to Paradise in Hong Kong. Well, this statement from this paragraph here completely contradicts that. Trademark registration is a lengthy and multi-stage process, especially when it comes to securing international rights. Currently we're in the process of registering our trademark. In some regions this process can take 6 months or longer. We have already filed an application for registration in Hong Kong, and once it's complete we will initiate registration in other jurisdictions. The timelines depend on the legislation of each country. Until the process is complete, we'll use the R symbol to protect our brand at this stage, which also helps prevent unauthorized use. Right, there's a couple of things here that we really need to unpack. Firstly, their business was registered around 6 months ago. So you're telling me that they've managed to build, develop, scale, market, and put together an entire full, complete, working, functioning game in 6 months. A game which in their own words is going to be competing directly with GTA 6, a game that's taken Rockstar somewhere between 5 to 10 years to make. I find that extremely unlikely. The next thing is you can't use the R symbol next to your name unless it is a registered trademark. You can't do it when you've filed it, you do it when you're awarded the registered trademark. Next, if you guys are familiar with deodorant like Axe, well in the UK it's called Lynx. The reason for that is the trademark was taken. You will have to rename and rebrand some of your names and products in certain countries depending on whether you own the registered trademark in those countries. When it comes to distributing games online, for example on Epic Games Store or Steam Store, you can't call it something in a country with the R logo after it when you don't own the registered trademark. So even if they do get accepted for owning it in Hong Kong, they will still need to change the name of the game, because from what I can tell looking online, Paradise is already registered in the UK, the US, Australia, and a few other European countries that I checked. I also find it very unlikely that the name is also available in Hong Kong. But the point is when they initially planned to make this game and they were coming up with names for it, that's the point where you start filing trademarks. So the fact that they registered their business 6 months ago and they still haven't got the trademarks in other countries means that they probably haven't spent that long working on this game, potentially a couple of months. The next question is, will real brands of cars, clothing, and other well-known companies be used in the game? They've stated, in order to comply with copyright laws and to create a unique style for the project, only our own brands of cars, clothing, and other elements will appear in the final version of the game. In the trailer, they had Lamborghinis, they had Corvettes, they had t-shirts with other people's branding on it, they had other items of clothing with other brands on it as well. So they've shown all of this stuff in the trailer that isn't going to be in the final game. Well, utilizing that in the trailer is illegal. Utilizing someone else's brand name, logos, and identities to sell your product without the correct authorization is illegal. Whether this game is free to play or not, this company will be generating revenue off the back of this game, and part of the drive towards the game is those trailers. We have developed over 20 original car models with unique logos and designs. These may resemble well-known brands, but they are fully original creations and do not infringe on the rights of other companies. Which I want to say that having 20 different cars in the game sounds absolutely boring, considering there's around 700 in Grand Theft Auto 5, which is a game that's, 11 years old. This same approach applies to other elements, such as clothing brands and company symbols, enabling us to maintain the recognizability and ambience of the real world without using external trademarks. So why are you using external trademarks? We would also like to mention that not all visual elements shown in the trailer will necessarily be included in the final version of the game, so it's misleading. Cool. This decision also protects us from legal risks associated with using registered brands and ensures the project remains independent and original. Meanwhile, in the trailer, you can see the word Lamborghini written on the back of one of the cars. Will there be partnership agreements with well-known influencers such as Ninja, Pokimane, and others? And where on the website will this information be available? At present, we have signed several contracts with influencers, primarily from Asian countries, and we continue to negotiate with major international partners. When information about our collaborations first appeared on the website, it was marked as soon, as we already had preliminary agreements, and the contract terms were under discussion. However, since not all contracts were finalised within the expected timeframe, we decided to temporarily remove this information to avoid any potential misunderstandings or misleading our users. The problem is I can't use a recreational image of Ninja, of Pokimane, or any of these other celebrities, or Ali A, and put their name in a trailer or a title, or use any imagery related to them on my website without incurring a lawsuit. Until those contracts are signed and they're fully moving forwards, you cannot market yourself as working with them, even if you put the word soon underneath your images. That is illegal. I feel like this game is probably being developed by a 5-year-old because this is very basic stuff, especially in the games industry. And also, the fact that they're getting a lot of this information entirely wrong about the legal standings of working in the games industry, apart from them claiming to have worked on numerous titles, including some of the biggest selling online games, when in reality this is the first game they've ever made, is once again just a sign of things to come. What is the current status of the Paradise app? The Paradise app is an application designed for gamers, offering a platform in the in-game marketplace for purchasing virtual items, user interaction features, leaderboards, clans, and task completion. PAR is an in-game currency. Initially, users will be able to purchase items with PAR currency, opening the opportunity to acquire unique items directly through the app. Then the rest of this paragraph just explains that it's an in-game currency, it's not a real currency, blah 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 blah. Apart from the fact that their trailer and their very own website stated that you'll be able to cash out money and to actually invest in their crypto coin, which their coin is a cryptocurrency, a real world cryptocurrency, not an in-game one, and they were offering people incentives to sign up and register for the game. They marketed this as being a real cryptocurrency. Thing is, if everything they're saying here is true, from day one, none of us would have been making videos. But the fact that they had a full-on cryptocurrency system set up for real life cashing out money and were offering people coins, and now they've completely done a 180 and denied that was ever the intention, is absolutely insane. Which brings me on to the next paragraph. Will cryptocurrency be used in the game? We understand that the use of cryptocurrency in games generates interest and possibly questions from our community. To provide complete clarity, at the time of release, cryptocurrency and blockchain will not be integrated into the game. At the time of release. Initially, before they applied to have their game on Epic Games and Steam, their website was bombarded with crypto information about how it was a blockchain and crypto game. When they had to apply for their Epic Games and Steam placement, they removed all of this stuff, because although Epic Games isn't too worried about it, Steam is definitely against cryptocurrency being part of the games that people buy. They then go on and say this decision aligns with the policies of major gaming platforms such as Steam and takes into account that cryptocurrency remains controversial technology for some of our audience. However, we're considering the potential for blockchain and cryptocurrency integration in the future. This will only be implemented if we can integrate it seamlessly into the gameplay without compromising user convenience and compliance with all legal requirements. Now, it's worth stating here that there are some more questions which we'll go into, but one of the biggest questions that came up is why they're claiming to have a PEGI 12 rating. Now, do you know in the US you have the ESRB, which is your ratings board to decide what age range the game is for. In the UK and Europe, we have the PEGI system, and it works essentially exactly the same way. In fact, they communicate quite often with each other. According to Paradise, this game is rated ESRB 17, and in the UK it's registered as a PEGI 12. And then checking the ESRB website and checking PEGI's website, Paradise and Ultra Games are nowhere to be found on there. But it also states on both of those websites that games that contain a cryptocurrency that can be converted into real currency will automatically be given an 18+. So they are lying about having ratings from ESRB and PEGI. Are there specialists from other countries, including Russia, on your team? Our company actively collaborates with highly qualified specialists from various countries, including the United States, Europe, and CIS countries, including Russia. The core team is based in Hong Kong. However, for effective promotion and distribution of our product in international markets, we engage external companies and professionals from these regions. This is due to the high qualifications of the specialists in these countries and the ability to optimize costs, allowing us to maintain high quality work at more competitive prices. However, there are some concerns here. Firstly, Rob Lee, who's their influencer relations manager, supposedly this guy, apparently lives in Russia because he's emailing me from a Russian response email address. But also their community manager is also based in Russia due to the amount of Russian videos and stuff that they have posted. So far we've only got 2 confirmed people working for Ultra Games, and both of them are Russian. Just to be very clear here, I do not have any political biases on Russia. I think what's happening between Russia and Ukraine is obviously awful, but just from the outside looking in, Hong Kong does currently have sanctions against Russia, not as strict as the Western world, but there are sanctions in place. But also there are some grey areas with Epic Games and Steam from having Russian built and developed games on their store. I'm not here to comment on whether it's right or wrong whether these sanctions exist, let's just not get political, but the fact that this was something that was covered up and hidden under the rug, especially when Paradise spoke to me and denied having any involvement with any employees in Russia. They stated that they used third-party companies to manage the influencer relationships and other stuff, but according to this, they directly employ people from Russia. So it sounds like they're going back on what they said and they are lying, or at very least misleading everyone. Are you utilizing technologies and resources from Epic Games and other companies for game development? Yes, we actively use ready-made assets, tools, and technologies from various companies. Our expansive game world requires a large amount of content and technology, and we leverage all available resources provided by Epic Games. This includes not only Unreal Engine, but also a broad range of models, assets, visual effects and tools, as well as systems for performance, optimization, and network functionality and support. Then they say that they also use 11 labs for voice synthesis, and then they go on to say that all the resources they use from other third parties are to save them time, but they also adapt all of these resources to fit their visual style. Now I will say here that every single asset that we found in the game that was currently available to buy online has not been modified. It is exactly as it is online. The only thing that changes the aesthetic of it is the illumination within inside the game engine. So the whole idea of them adapting stuff to fit the game is a little bit of a stretch. But also here, they're not mentioned anything about them stealing the mini-map from GTA 5. Are you partners with Epic Games? Yes, we officially collaborate with Epic Games. As part of our agreement with Epic Games, we have signed a contract that includes placing our game on the Epic Games Store platform and distributing it through their marketplace. Please be advised that any inquiries directed at Epic Games support regarding the legitimacy and status of our partnership made prior to the official release date, October the 29th, 2024, are not applicable. As of that time, we had not yet completed the verification process and we were in the final stages of finalizing our agreements. Now, that being said, if they hadn't formalized anything yet and nothing was physically set in place, then why the hell were they putting Epic Games at the very start, the very end, and all over their trailer prior to the agreement taking place? It is important to know that all games listed on the Epic Games website have entered into a partnership contract, which outlines the terms and distribution and profit sharing. Now this is all very interesting because there's a massive difference between having a distribution agreement with Epic Games and being an official partner of the company Epic Games. From what we all understand is that this game's developer has listed a game on Epic Games, gone through the application process, which is about $100, and of course been approved to list on a website. In fact, the reason why there's so many games on Steam and Epic Games that just generally suck is because anyone can list a game. Now, to the extent of whether they do or don't have a partnership with Epic Games, at this particular point in time, it is really hard to tell. All we can do is go off what they're saying and what the support team at Epic Games are saying. We will have to wait until closer to the supposed release date to really get some clarification. So on this one, I will have to give them the benefit of the doubt. Why do you use assets similar to those found in other games like GTA? Why are they saying similar? Because there's some things here which are direct copies, like exact copies. We acknowledge that games is a significant source of inspiration for our project, and we did not exclude the use of references to various games and films. We include certain references, items, and names as part of our legal and creative use. In addition, the use of these elements is also part of our marketing strategy. But once again, they're explaining why they're doing it, but it's also unethical, illegal, and completely disingenuous to the people that have actually really worked hard to create these games to begin with. Straight up copying assets from the game is just really slimy. How is your project different from other games like The Day Before 2? What? I think they mean The Day Before. Our game is fundamentally different from others in that it is completely free to access. We do not sell pre-orders or take any money from players, and like TDB2, I think people are getting confused when they're calling the game The Day Before 2. I think it doesn't matter. This ensures that players can experience the game without any financial risk or commitment. Not much to say on that one. And the next thing on the website is, why does the information on the website change? They've stated, initially our website was a first version resource created to provide preliminary information about the project. Since its launch, we have observed significant interest and engagement from the community, which prompted us to undertake a large-scale upgrade and expansion of the site to make it more informative, user-friendly, and secure. Which for me is very interesting, because originally there was I think in total 40 to 50 pages on the total website. Now the whole website is down to like 6 pages. They've removed all the resources. They removed their white paper. They removed everything because it totally debunked the legitimacy of this game. So them making it more informative and adding more information is not true. They have completely removed everything from the website. During these upgrades, certain sections including the portal and registration features have been temporarily hidden and disabled. These changes are necessary for updating functionality and enhancing user experience and implementing additional security measures. No. When I posted my first video, they removed half their website. When they were getting questioned in the Discord, they removed the other half of their website. When Jetro made his video, they added a banner to the top of their website saying the website's still under development. Every single time one of his creators makes a video, they hide stuff from their website. We're taking into account all feedback, including user comments regarding privacy concerns for some site features. Rest assured, user security is our priority. No information, including registration data, has been or will be used improperly. The problem is they can't tell us what improperly means because they've removed their privacy policy from their website, which by the way is a legal requirement to have on every single website. All temporarily hidden sections and features will return in an updated form once the website reconstruction process is complete. We're currently committed to blah blah blah, whatever. And then let's just go back to the email that they sent me. At the bottom of the email it says, with the game launch coming soon, we want to establish a partnership and a friendly relationship with you. Please take time to review your responses and we're happy to give you honest answers to any further questions you have. Could you let us know how we could build a friendly relationship with you? The thing is from my perspective here, it's not about a relationship. It's not about how much money they can throw at me to shut up. It's not about how many endorsement stuff that they keep going on about. It's about moral integrity. And the fact is even if this game does, by some stretch of the imagination, does come out and does end up being somewhat okay, during the whole process of their launch cycle, they've stolen assets from other games. They've lied and misled to people about what the intent of the game is. They've hidden things from their website that were previously up, for example, the cryptocurrency stuff. Straight away, the developers of this game, and I'm not saying that they're not trustworthy, but from a PR and public facing perspective, everything they've done looks shady, looks untrustworthy. Now, if the game by some stretch of the imagination does come out and it does end up being incredible, I of course will hold my hands up and go, wow, I'm surprised. But at the same time, everything myself, Jetro, Clean Sanchez and Lieutenant Buzz Lightyear has said about this topic has all been based on the information that they've fed the community, and I personally believe that this game doesn't exist, and that is a personal opinion. And until I actually see the game on the desktop of a PC somewhere and someone actually playing it and they don't work for Paradise, I will be holding the opinion that I don't believe that this game is legitimate. I also want to say that looking at the index of their email addresses for their company, every single email I've had from them over the past week has all been from the same email address, ParadiseEVS.com. The parent company, Ultra Games, who has supposedly worked on multi-billion-dollar projects, don't even have a website, and some of the games that they've claimed to have worked on in the past can't be found anywhere online. Even through a VPN pretending to be in China or Hong Kong, we still can't find the games that they've claimed to have built in the past. I think for me personally, this will be the final video I make on this topic until some other big news comes out, because if anything, the way that they've responded to this and firstly threatened me, then sucked up to me and wanted to cooperate and collaborate with me on stuff, it doesn't give the best forward-facing aesthetic for a company that's supposed to be a multi-billion-dollar professional company. It sounds like a small group of people just protecting themselves. So for the time being, we're gonna have to wait this out and see what happens. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Spin the cylinder.